Hey guys! So this summer, Dad and I went to Playa Carmen and Cozumel in Mexico, and it was a pretty fun vacation because I haven't been on a plane since 2019 since we took an airplane there, because how else would we get there, right? So it was a pretty fun vacation for Dad and I, and usually when I do these vacation style videos, I make one video for every single day I'm there. So this time I thought, hey, why not do something different and take one highlight from each day, or two, and put it into one video. So I thought, hey, let's try that. So let's get to it. So, starting off on day one by getting to the airport, and the car ride there was pretty good because there were literally like no other cars on the road. Probably because we left at like 3:30 in the morning, but it was really fun just blazing through the highway, and the plane was so awesome. Like, I totally forgot that the planes went that fast on the runway to take off. It felt really awesome. And then landing was okay, but my ears were hurting a lot, but that's cause of the air pressure and the plane landing, but otherwise, it was awesome to be on a plane again. And then we took an airport shuttle to our hotel, which was called the Kayak Luna, which I highly recommend going to if you're in Playa del Carmen, because it was an awesome hotel. And what was even more awesome about it is that it had a rooftop pool, which, get this, also had no one the whole time we were there. Like, the pool was literally free to use if you stayed at the hotel, and no one bothered to come. Although there was 2 people that came one night, but one night for the 3 days that were there. So it was pretty awesome having it all to ourselves, and it was a pretty nice view of the streets of Playa del Carmen. And again, you had the pool all to yourself. There was even a bar up there and electrical outlets, so I could bring my Mac up there and edit videos. So it was pretty awesome. And of course, the best part of Playa del Carmen, my Spanish pronouncing skills. Chochinillata Pilbi La Cochi Loca. I definitely pronounced that wrong, right? But that place I definitely brutally pronounced. Did have really good tacos though.
Wow.
And also later, Dad and I did decide to take a walk on the beach, and it was very nice. But let me just show you how sensitive the salesman's ears are in Playa del Carmen. Oh, is this a massage place?
Massage?
Like, literally, I just said massage out loud. The guy turns around instantly saying, "You want a massage?" So if you don't want a massage, then just keep your mouth shut and then you'll be fine. And then after, Dad and I went to this tostadas place that had the most delicious salmon and tuna tostadas. Like, they were so good. Like, the salmon one literally looks like a mountain of flavor, and the tuna one, like jalapenos, like whatever kind of sauce was in that tostada, and the tuna, like, my gosh, it was like sashimi. So it was really awesome, and Dad also really enjoyed it too. So starting off day 2, Dad and I took a walk to the other kayak hotel because the kayak hotels, they actually have 2 of them, the Kayak Luna and the Kayak Sol, which is basically the night version and the sun version of each hotels, which honestly kind of reminds me of Pokemon. And we just went there to grab some breakfast. I had some eggs, potatoes, and salad, and it was pretty good. And it also had a really nice view from the rooftop patio as well as a pool, so it was pretty nice. And then after heading back to the Kayak Luna and chilling out on the rooftop pool for quite some time, Dad and I decided to grab some lunch while also taking a walk on the streets of Playa del Carmen, and we ended up at a Carl's Jr. because I saw a Carl's Jr. earlier, and I was like, you know what, I haven't had Carl's Jr. since I was like 8 years old. How does it hold up now? So Dad and I got a burger there, and it was underwhelmingly really bad. Like, the bun was like wet and soggy. I know, disgusting. It wasn't really that flavorful. The fries were not that flavorful either. They were kind of like just okay. So it was like, I thought it was gonna taste so much better, but it was just not that good. So after that total flop of a lunch, Dad and I later went out to dinner to a tiki bar, only to realize that they were closed on Mondays. Like, come on, guys. So what did we end up getting for dinner? Well, we actually went back to the tostadas place from yesterday, but this time we got some different tostadas. We got a shrimp one and a ceviche-like one, and they were both amazing. And then on the way back to the hotel, we actually passed this live band that was playing at a bar, so Dad and I were like, why not just get a fizzy water and watch them play? So we got a seat, got a fizzy water to drink, and watch them play, and they were playing some pretty good music, and it was also just really nice to see a live band play. Guitar Hero IRL, am I right? But it was really loud, though. I mean, we were in the front, so it was pretty loud. I actually checked my Apple Watch, and it measured 100 decibels, so it was pretty loud, but very fun overall. moving on to day 3, this was the day that Dad and I transferred over to Cozumel. So we walked over to the Playa Carmen ferry docks and boarded the orange ferry to take us there, because the reason I'm specifying the color is because they have 2 ferries going there, the yellow ferry and the orange ferry. The yellow one is older and the orange one is newer, so we took the orange one there, and the ferry ride was pretty good overall. I mean, at the start, Dad and I sat at the top level, where we saw yet another live performance play, and holy jeez was the water so rocky that day. I think it was the wind or rain, whatever, because it was raining in Cozumel when we got there, so it was so rocky. I actually got boat sick, and I never got boat sick, so that's how rocky it was. And then after a while, we transferred to the bottom floor where there was, like, air conditioning and a lot more comfortable seating, so that kind of helped with my boat sickness, but I felt pretty terrible at the end. But overall, if it wasn't for the waves, it was a great ferry ride. So after walking to our hotel and dropping off our stuff there, which felt like an endless walk since our bags were so heavy, Dad and I went to this tiki bar for lunch, and oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So first of all, the place was like empty, so we had it all to ourselves, even though the place was so good. And the food we got was a charcuterie board to start. Best charcuterie board I've had. They literally gave it to us on a tree log. Like, what the heck? And then it had so much good stuff on it. It was really good. And then they gave us some fries with it as well. And I actually had a pina colada, non-alcoholic, but it was, oh my gosh, it was so sweet. It was awesome. I do like the taste of pina coladas. It was pretty good. And then the next thing we got were some tacos, which were also super good as well. So it was a super awesome place. And we also had a really friendly waiter too. He was really awesome. And fun fact, our hotel room actually came with an infinity pool, which was also dead. So Dad and I checked it out, and it was pretty cool. And then after, Dad and I were walking on the street to go get some dinner, and we actually ended up going to a Hooters for dinner. And if you watched when Dad and I went to Niagara Falls, you'll remember that we noticed that there was just a lot of dudes at Hooters. And this time, well, it was actually completely dead, like 0 people. Not sure why, but I got some sliders and fries for dinner, which it's hard to explain. Like, it tasted cheap, but also good at the same time. It's pretty weird, but it was still pretty nice overall. Alright, so now we are at day 4 in the trip, and this is probably my favorite day in the trip because this is when Dad and I took a taxi down to this beach club called Mr. Sancho's. And it's basically like this place where, like, there's got a bunch of tables on the beach, and then they got like pools and stuff, and you can like order food, but it's got an amazing spot right beside the beach, and our table is also right beside the water as well. So Dad and I got a seat, we ate some food, and I went in the water, and I also brought my iPhone in with a waterproof case on it to film the fishes in there, because there was a lot of fish in the ocean. There was a lot of them. So here's some video of that. Hold on guys, I'm just gonna switch to my ultra wide camera. So as you can see, those fishes look pretty awesome, especially for how silver they were. Pretty awesome. Also, by the way, this is my food. Just got a cheeseburger, and then Dad got some fish. I can't remember what the name of it was, but both of them, because I tried some of Dad's food, and they were both very good. But not as good as the thing that Dad and I had for dinner, because turns out there was actually a steakhouse literally right under our hotel in Cozumel. So we were like, hey, last night in Cozumel, might as well check it out. And as you can see from the footage, it was literally like less than a 1-minute walk. It was so cool. So Dad and I got a seat, and we actually got a seat right beside the window so that we could see the sunset when that happened. So that was pretty nice. And we got an appetizer as well called the salmon toast. Now, as you can see, it's on a tortilla chips. I don't know about you, but that does not look like a piece of toast to me. But whatever, it was still very good. And then for my meal, I got a steak with some fries, so steak frites, and the fries were kind of sprinkled with cheese. It was very interesting, but oh my god, the steak was the most tender steak I've ever had. Like, it was literally like cutting through butter. It was so smooth. I mean, take a look at this. Already cut. It's amazing. So, starting off day 5, this was the day that Dad and I left Cozumel to catch the ferry back to Playa del Carmen. And before we left, we stopped by this breakfast place, or restaurant, I guess, that was really weird. So, the design was very unique, definitely, but it just had so much weird stuff in it. Like, for example, like, there was, like, seemed like endless floors. It felt like, I think there was 4 floors. It was a pretty big place. And then there was all these like random rooms. Like, for example, there was an arcade room with actual arcade machines. Like, what? There was like a lounge room with a couch, an office. There was like a ping pong table. Like, what is this place trying to be? I have like honestly no idea, but it was definitely a really interesting place. But anyways, about the food, I got some churro waffles, because apparently that's a thing. Churro waffles, wow. And interestingly enough, instead of maple syrup, because it's waffles, I got this like jelly. I think it was like strawberry jam it tasted like, and it was not too bad. So then we made our way to the ferry station, which funny enough, we could actually see from the restaurant we were eating at, since it was like a rooftop patio, and also the location. And we boarded the yellow ferry this time, instead of the orange ferry from earlier in the trip, and it was a lot better. I don't know if it's because of the technology, but I'm pretty sure it's because there was less waves today. Like, we were just cruising, no bumps at all, and it felt a lot nicer too. This time we got like a whole big table to put our stuff on. Like, how nice of them, right? The other one, it was just 2 cramped seats, kind of like an airplane to be honest. But the ferry ride was definitely much better. And then when Dad and I arrived at our new hotel, we decided to check out the rooftop pool, because this one also had a rooftop pool, and it was massive. So first of all, there was a hot tub and a pool, because yes, that was a hot tub, I know. It was massive. You had an amazing view of the ocean, and also a nice view of the houses of Playa del Carmen. And there was also a bar, a gym, plenty of seating areas, so it was pretty nice. Our hotel room was also really nice too. It was also really big and had like 2 separate bedrooms with 2 TVs in each of them, a really nice living room, a dining room, a fridge, a microwave, wine glasses, plates included, a sink. Like, seriously, it literally had everything. But it also had really minor imperfections too. First of all, they actually didn't install the shower door right in Dad's washroom, because we picked what washrooms wanted, and it was actually misaligned from the floor, so it just leaked all the water. So amazing. Then there was a few more, but the most major problem is that unlike the 2 other hotels we had, they used key cards to unlock the doors. This one used actual physical keys, because I'm pretty sure it was also a condo, like people lived here. Pretty cool. But the problem with it is that the people who installed these keys, I don't know if they knew what they were doing. Because, like, seriously, when we were first getting into the room, we stuck the key in, tried to unlock it, but then, like, pulling the key out and just, like, turning it, dude, it was, like, super glued in. And then by the 4th time, when we were leaving to go get dinner, Dad was, like, trying to lock the door, and then he was trying so hard to pull it out that he broke the key in half. Like, can you believe that? So we were kind of trapped in the lobby for, like, 20 minutes, and then we finally got to leave. And where did we go for dinner? You won't believe this, but we went back to the Tostadas place. Different location, but we got a similar thing. Although we got this like shrimp soup kind of thing. It was pretty good. And supposedly Dad said that the food tasted better at that location. I felt like it tasted the same, but it was still very nice. Like, the tostadas at that place are very good. So for day 6, Dad and I left our hotel room a little later while our hotel solved the broken key problem. And then we walked to this taco place for lunch, which was very good. As you can see, we got literal ribeye steak tacos and whitefish tacos. And as you can see, oh my gosh, they were absolutely delicious. And since Dad and I left our hotel room so late because of the whole key problem, when dinner eventually came around, we went to a Jamaican restaurant. And what did we get? We got jerk chicken and lemongrass pork, as it was called, and it was pretty good. Well, that was Dad and I's entire trip in Playa del Carmen and Cozumel in Mexico. And honestly, day 7 we didn't really do much on that day. It was mostly just the flight back. And by the way, here's the takeoff here while I'm doing this outro here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. remember to comment if you've ever been to Mexico. I'm curious. Have you guys been there? Because it was pretty fun. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.